What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Big Body Cisco. We are here with another edition of your favorite podcast, the Western Conference Podcast. And when I say that, this has been long overdue, and I know I say this all the time, but my brother is here, Sammy Johnson, the incomparable Sammy Johnson. And y'all, he always says you hate that when I introduce you like that.
I think you're the only person that says that. That's why.
But we got Sammy Johnson in the building. It's been a long time coming.
I think, yeah, you've been waiting to do this for a hot minute, and congratulations. This place is amazing.
Oh, no, this is home for
so
you. This is
cool.
home for everybody because we got some stuff in the works that I've been telling Sammy about, but we can't tell you guys about right now. But everybody wanted to know because Sammy, and I always say this all the time, in every conversation I have about, you know, our current scene, I've been in the music for a long time, and the first time I heard your voice was someone was like, okay, that's different than what we're normally used to. Because me and you always talk about the R&B thing. So let's take it back.
Yeah.
Let's take it back home and tell everybody where you're from and how you even got into this music thing.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. So originally, it's always been a bit debate. And if you look on I think on like Wikipedia, so I was born in Australia. Ooh, nah. So my dad's from New Zealand. He's a New Zealand Māori, and I guess he went to Australia to find a snow bunny. No, I'm just joking.
Got that snow bunny over there.
Yeah, so I was born in Australia, and I spent most of like my early years in Brisbane, Australia. So there's a few artists from there, like there's Lissy, and there's a few other rappers.
Shout out Lissy, man. Shout out the whole fam out there,
he's so good, so talented. And there was no... I don't know how to explain it. So in New Zealand, there was obviously a music scene. Dawn Raid was like popping in there, but Australia has always been a weird one for music and artists. Like they'll let us go on Australian Idol and stuff like that, but there's never been like in some sort of like infrastructure to sort of carry that on. And I just was a weird kid.
Well, because I always tell people all the time, it's from the upbringing. Like
100%.
What were you brought up on, like on R&B? Were you brought up on island reggae? What was Sammy J brought up on to have you just have this kind of niche in the music game?
Well, both of my parents, they're not musical at all.
Yeah.
Well, my dad is. But obviously, I think we just grew up around my dad's sort of whatever my parents played. And it was a lot of Motown, a lot of Stevie, a lot of Marvin, a lot of just all that. And so, you know, when you're a kid, like that's just all we sort of listened to. And for me, it was more my older siblings that the music. So my older sister, she's an amazing singer, still an amazing singer, but she did all the television show like Pop Stars.
Yeah.
I think it was called Pop Stars then.
So was that your introduction to like the singing part of it? Just watching
100%.
sis?
You're just watching them. And so I was the younger, irritating brother. And they'd be in their rooms like trying to practice some Mariah Carey and
mimic them.
you know, and I'd be in my room like, oh, this is how you do it. But
Already correcting them.
Just to irritate them.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just to irritate them. And that's how it all started. And then just watching my sister in her music journey, she ended up... I guess it's like Universal, like there's a place called Movie World there.
Yeah.
So she used to be Tina Turner at Movie World.
Wow. So that was her part of it, was to be Tina Turner.
So she was in pop star, and then she went from that to Tina Turner, and she used to do them walk down, like they do like a parade and everything. And then she ended up getting married, and music sort of took a little bit of a backseat. And then I had a younger sister who was on Australian Idol with... That's not making his mind. On Australian Idol with Stan. She was on the same season as Stan Walker.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they're really close. And I just was never, so music was always around, but I was never going to be a singer. Like it wasn't on the books for me, so to speak. I'd sing at church and stuff, but...
Well, stop there. When you say sing at church, is that something that you kind of heard your own voice and kind of said, this is, because you had your older sisters and your younger sister doing this already. So the music was around you. When you're singing in church, like, does this kind of say, I can kind of sing?
No. I had a very troubled childhood. Well, like, in all that, and I was naughty.
Yeah.
Like,
everyone had that upbringing where, you know.
I just was, my dad, so like another backstory is my dad, we grew up in the LDS church. Parents are still very strong. would go, but I don't know about strong. So, but,
LDS household.
you know, yeah, and it was great. It was really good for us, I think, for someone like me who just was wild.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we would sing at church and stuff. And it wasn't even, I don't know if you're familiar with LDS singing. It's not like
the gospel church.
It actually was good. It was very foundational in the sense where we weren't allowed to sing like
do runs.
It was very
and all
like,
that.
oh Lord, my God.
Proper. Yeah, it was like proper.
And it was good. Like it was really good in teaching that foundation. Shout out to my choir instructor, Fina Ngasu, who had nightmares, I'm sure, with me.
Oh, but Fina had to see the talent as well.
She put her foot. Yeah, she was one of the early ones, and I think a lot of people sang, like there's a lot of amazing, you know, we all in our hometowns have like a bunch of amazing singers that we all wonder like what the hell happened to this. And so I wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, okay. And I think the best way to explain it is that, I sang at church and it was good and I'd get my little solo and it was fun and it was amazing. And then, you know, you go back to your normal life. And I think it really sort of started to become a thing when we were at school. So I played rugby up to a certain age and then I stopped and then I just
Ooh, Sammy J, the rugby player?
No,
Hold on.
I was not very good at, like, I was like waiting for the orange slices to come out. Like
the rugby was definitely part of the upbringing.
Can I have my meat pie?
Can I get that snack now?
Yeah, and then I stopped, and so, you know, I think it was when you get to high school, and it's another, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I didn't even really know that I like much about Polynesian or anything like that. Not till sort of high school when they sort of place you like in your
groups.
I didn't know, and I just, because I remember when I was in primary school, I thought I was Aboriginal. But you know, and so there's the kids that play sport. There's this one that's academic, and I was with the fat kids that sang and ate their lunch all day. And so there was a guitar, and so that's how it sort of used to form. And I'd skip school and we'd take the guitar to the city and try and busk for money to get McDonald's, to
get Meccas.
But yeah, so the music sort of just, it was like a weird thing that there was music happening at home and that professional, but I sort of discovered it on my own with my friends, and it just sort of became a thing. I didn't really talk about it at home, or it wasn't like I guess it's like my parents were very involved in my siblings' music and stuff, and I was more like, this is my own thing, and so I just sort of honed it.
But honed it by like, because having your sister, like when you were with the friends and you guys have these musical influences, we were talking about Motown and we're talking about like too. A lot of in your music, who were some of the artists out there? Like, was it Radna out at the time? Who was the ones that was doing it at the time in that area?
I remember, I'll never forget when, like, obviously it was Scribe and it was Savage and the singer,
the hip-hop,
rapper. And it was amazing. That was huge. Yeah, it was a big movement, and I remember, and then the Eddie's and Radna came out, and that was huge for us. I remember, I did illegally download because you weren't selling it in Australia.
So those are the Napster days.
100%. And I'm like on freaking tour, or like trying to find, and so I had that, and it was huge. I think it was actually before Aradna and Eddie's. It was Feej was the first sort of my first introduction to people like that looked like us on a CD cover.
That was doing like the island reggae
and
stuff.
I bought that album.
Which album was that? Born and Raised?
It was the one where he had no shirt on. I just never forget. I was like,
was that Gratitude? It had to be.
I
remember put the picture of the album here, but
I don't even know. Maybe it wasn't like a real copy, but I bought it from someone. I don't know if it was illegal or not, and I just remember like it was just. I think growing up where I'm from, this is the main thing that sort of maybe made me want to do it, was that it was not a thing. It wasn't like a possible, music was never on the cards for someone like me from where I'm from. No one does it. There was no sort of template. And so it was just something so far away, but it was just fun,
Yeah.
And so you see these artists like Aradna and it was like a dream that never, I already knew that it was never going to be a thing. And so it never crossed my mind that I would have to, because I knew that it was never going to be a thing. I just was like,
it was just a hobby.
I don't know.
Point.
Yeah, I feel
Something to
like
have
once
fun
you
with.
know that, like, I don't know, but for me, it's like the pressure involved with a dream, and like you're gonna, I'm self-sabotaged. So because I knew it was never ever gonna be a thing, I was just.
Plus, you had your sisters doing this, so there was no structure for you, like to kind of say this was your path.
And it was very hard for them, and they were successful in their own right, but it eventually, ultimately, they didn't end up doing music. But my parents spent a lot of money and a lot of time, and it was worth it. And but I will never forget, like when they found out I was doing music, they're like, "Well, we're not going to be
pushy how they were with the sisters."
Because of the time and the money that went into that, and and I learned. I'm like all mixed up, like trying to think of because so much happened in a small time. But I remember like learning, like unintentionally from them, like they were covers girls, like so they would sing in covers bands, and so I didn't do covers, but I met. I think the thing that all this was happening at the same time, and I think the thing that really brought it together for me was like I met a bunch of weirdos that were just like me.
Yeah.
And that was the main thing. Is that it was a bunch of polys, and we were all weirdos wearing skinny jeans and U-necks, and like
that era.
We really thought we were like edgy as hell, but
like trendsetters.
No, we really did. Yeah. And there was like it was like my safe haven. Like I became a background singer in this local group. Shout out to the Vessels.
The Vessels. Shout out the Vessels, man.
No, and I remember watching them and thinking like, oh my gosh, like these guys, like I could definitely see myself in this group. And then I eventually auditioned for the backgrounds. That was my first introduction to music.
Because the music scene, like people don't know that I was actually, when you're here in the States, it's like different than how it is in Australia and New Zealand.
Like there's not like, we don't know someone who's a singer, or we don't know a label. Like where I live, it's so far away from anything. Like I'm from Ipswich, and so Brisbane City is not even a city where music is. Like there are artists there, but everything happens in Sydney or in Melbourne.
Like the main cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then it's like on these levels where you're never, like I just knew that I was never going to be in a room or never be, I don't know. So I started singing background for this group, the Vessels. And then the lead singer, she came to practice one day and was like, Jesus told me I need to stop singing.
It was a sign from God.
And I was like,
she was the leader of the group.
Yeah, but I was like, but isn't this a church group? Like, it was like a creative, it was funny but it was like, like I think I see it happening all the time. But it was like a creative initiative, like in this new age, if there were like a new age sort of religion. I don't want to.
Yeah, you teetering, right?
Yeah, I don't know, like whether. Nah,
but it was like something that you guys had.
Yeah, and so and I guess like it's like youth. It was a way of engaging with young people. So there was these creative initiatives. Shout out to Breakthrough because they play a huge. The church was Breakthrough, and they played a huge role in that. And so you have band. Like, have you ever heard of Specifics?
Yeah.
So they're a product of that.
Okay, yeah, because so they have like the young adults and they have like the things that they have through the LES too as well.
And they used creative arts as a way of engaging and bringing people into church. And so the Vessels was like a little sister or little brother group of the Specific template when they set up shop in Brisbane. And we used to go... And like we'd go to church like once a month, and
once a month,
like like because I come from LDS, and so I'm used to like reverence, silence, and they're speaking in tongues, and we're like, whoa,
what's going on?
What do we do here? And so I'm there in church. I'm like, okay, well. Mama say, Mama
it's not the norm.
I'm like, I can't speak in tongues, but I know the Michael Jackson sounds like. And we'd be in the back, like, Mama say, Mama say. And then the leader of our band is in the praise and worship. She's like, oh my gosh, they're slain in the spirit. And we're like, Mama say, Mama say.
So they're speaking in tongues. Like, oh, it's Michael Jackson.
And we'd be going to these altar calls. I don't know nothing about that. I'm like, okay, we'll just go up to the front. And what do we do now? And they're like, So it was a lot of that, and so we became a part of this creative thing, and it was amazing. And then so the lead singer quit, and we're like, well, we've got gigs, and so we had to keep doing it. And so that's where the world sort of starts to find like that. I'm in Brisbane doing all that, and I've sort of got a little name as being a part
starting
of
to build
that.
up the buzz.
But the world, I'm introduced to the world around that time when Nina left. And then you see Sammy J and Ness on the internet.
Oh.
And so Ness was the guitarist.
Yeah.
And then we had like we had a percussionist. And so when Nina, we had to start sort of, how do we, like, what do we do now?
Was that the transition where you guys started doing YouTube videos and started doing
Yeah, we were just out and about and trying to figure out our next steps because I didn't see myself as a lead singer. I was just like
part of something.
When really... always got in trouble in choir, never blended.
Yeah. Always the outcast
someone
part of
is
it.
louder and then someone's adding an extra.
Getting that little run that was like, oh, who's doing that run?
Yeah, like I thought it was just adding flight now. But so then I started doing stuff with Ness. And the YouTube clips, but I was writing songs and we would just, I'll never forget, we were trying to get money to buy a meat pie or something.
Yeah.
And we were walking to the gas station, or we got it, and we had enough for one.
We're going to split this meat pie.
But we were walking and singing with the guitar, and some guy opened his garage, and he was like, hey, you just want, I'm filming. Like, I'm like, you want to be on the video? And so that's what those clips are.
Wow.
Like me in the hoodie.
But tell me, like, that just came out of nowhere, just this random guy.
No, well, I'd met him years ago, Kane, shout out to Kane, and he happened to live close by. So you know the song like Ice Cream?
Yeah, man,
so
come on, Ice Cream's a classic right there.
Yeah, so shout out to the Diamond Brothers. So I was doing that stuff, but it was more of like a session singer. Like I was just writing the songs and recording it, like for them to go.
But tell us a story behind Ice Cream. When you pen something like Ice Cream, because if you guys know Ice Cream one of my favorite Sammy Johnson songs. This is with the Sammy J days, but Ice Cream was always the one that, because back home here, we had caught wind of Ice Cream. And that's when I was doing Big Body Radio.
I thought no one knew about that. So that's all prior even to this stuff. I was just, someone told me to go and record these, like to play around. But I remember when I wrote that song, when I was going nightclubbing, I wasn't supposed to, we were sneaking out. Me and my friend Philly, and we would sneak out and then go to the nightclub and then come back before the sun came up to be at church. But the little brother, his little brother Jeff was like, "Oh, can we come?" I'm like, you can't go out nightclubbing. Like, but they would stay awake and wait for us. Like, look out see if the coast was clear.
Yeah, the lookouts.
Yeah, and so we were coming home, but they didn't realize, and so we're standing at the window because we'd climbed through the window, and we're listening to them at the window, and he's like, and they were rapping like on there. He's like, "Style of a love, I'm someone." He's like, "I want ice cream," and they're like rapping, and we're like, "What?"
So that was kind of like,
and they're like, "I want to take you there." They were like rapping, and we're like, "This is." And he's like, "You couldn't do anything better than that." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sweet. What's this?"
Ooh, so it was like a challenge.
It was just we were just joking, but I remember. And then I went to the studio, and they were doing that, and I just sort of was singing some of the lines. That's why it's like random. Is like ice cream, because that's what they were doing. Like, and you like
so you started singing what they were rapping.
And then I just added more to it, and then that's how that became. I put it on the internet and then forgot about it.
Because he's being modest, because when he put that on the internet, because you being out there in Australia, it kind of catches on when you put it on YouTube. It's now the worldwide can get a hold of it.
Yeah, but we hadn't quite grasped that at that time, and it was. I don't know, like I just didn't even think about it. It got a little like.
It definitely got a buzz.
I just am dead that it, like you heard that song?
So like I was doing Big Body Radio at the time, and somebody, because everyone would send YouTube clips. And I was like, okay, and then Ice Cream came across, and I was like, dude, this is a dope song. But it was really not even the basic song, it was your voice that I heard first. And I was like, dude, this voice is different than everything that was around. Because I was over there, you were dealing with Jay Buggs and everybody else that's out there. Your voice kind of came different. And that's why when you had got with Feej, we got to get into the story about how you even hooked up with Feej. Because now Ice Cream is starting to catch buzz on YouTube.
And that's the reason why I got into that group doing the background singing, because of that. I went to the auditions and had that. And we were doing shows. Yeah. And I opened, I don't even know if Boog remembers this, but we were the local opening act for his first Australia Brisbane run.
Wow.
And I remember he was really sick, and he was like, him and West had come, and West was.
Yeah,
but we were like an indie folk group.
Yeah, and we always use the locals from that area.
We sang. It was in a high school like auditorium, and we opened for him. We opened for lots of like. I opened for Common Kings when they came. So we're doing that. And anyway, it all builds up and everything, and then someone hits me up. Shout out to Noel Cronin. He was the first person that sort of I didn't even know too much about reggae. I did.
Yeah.
So
and let's solidify that wild, first. When you say you didn't know much about reggae, your first love was more in the R&B realm.
Always. I was always like, I thought.
That was your lane.
If I was going to do music, it was going to be like neo soul, soul. Like I was obsessed with music, soul child. Like obviously by now I'm like finding what I like.
Yeah.
It was like D'Angelo, Lauryn Hill. Like we're very blessed to be alive in the era where these people are dropping the album real time.
Yeah, a dope era too.
You know, where you were when you heard The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill or Voodoo.
And I feel like R&B in that area had a lot of influence on artists back there because even when we visited there were like bars and stuff like, where Jay Squeeze, they were just doing R&B shows there. So it wasn't, the island reggae wasn't even really a part of that.
It wasn't more in the R&B. Infrastructure for music for us in the sense it was very much because of the internet hadn't quite taken a hold as it had then or now.
Yeah.
Like I remember all the information I got was from the Source magazine or like those. And then when an album came out, like it was only in the record stores and you go to the listening booth and like
you go listen, check it out.
They hated me. They hated me
because I'd
take
all the music for free.
And I'd go to the import section because like not everything that is released here will go to Australia. It will be like
they'll get like the Australian version or
like only like top 20 and then but like you have like the artists like I'd import all these artists like I would import like remember was that Why Do Fools Fall in Love the soundtrack like they would never bring and put it on the
you had to like go find those
it. And so you have to pay an extra fee for that and I'd import it just to listen to it and then like
because they actually the music industry kind of controlled what went over to you guys. Unless 100%. You guys went and looked for something that was imported, you wouldn't have heard it. No, if you didn't go look for it.
If you didn't know about it, then you wouldn't. And so I'd have to dig, and I was like one of those crate diggers.
Yeah.
And like and then you have the CD, and that's it. Like it.
And I think that goes back to you because a crate digger.
Yeah.
I noticed in your music too, like you had that background of the miseducation. Like you could kind of see some of the influence you had, like with the D'Angelos, the Music Soul Childs, that coming in. So like what changed for you to kind of said, now there's this genre called island reggae?
Yeah, I remember finding out about it. Like obviously I loved reggae.
Yeah.
But we listened to Bob Marley and all that stuff. Yeah, and even like you had Aradna and Addies but they weren't doing reggae.
Yeah, because they were still even doing R&B.
It was very R&B.
Yeah.
Like Dawn Ray was
very
more
R&B.
They didn't get a reggae division till Sweet and Iron. That was years later.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were all R&B. Like, and no one played. And I guess that's where that Fiji album, and so we all got a hold of that, and was like, oh, this is cool. And and then. Yeah, but it never took hold in sort of the community. It was like, that's reggae, but like we're still singing R&B. Like,
because even talking to Fiji about it, like he was R&B, he loved R&B as well too.
He thought like at one point too, And because we sang like R&B singers, and so, but I think my brain hadn't quite my temporal lobe?
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand like the genres. I was more, obviously I'm a vocalist.
Yeah.
And so I was more about the singing. And so what drew me to the reggae was Fiji's voice. And it's the way that he sang and like how he did it.
Because he sang it different. He sang it different with that R&B twist in it.
And exactly. And so then as I was discovering Fiji, and this would have been like in my sort of last like senior years of high school, I'm guessing. So you discover Fiji, and as we did on Napster and LimeWire and all that, then you find out about Ikolu and all these other artists, and so the music that's sort of around, and then so that's when we would start discovering the genre as a whole.
Yeah. Who are some of the other artists besides Ekolu that you guys were kind of, especially on that side? Because
know
I
what's
definitely
funny?
want to see who you guys were listening to.
I always laugh because we didn't even know the names of half of the artists. It's just the songs because, you're burning CDs now.
Yeah.
We got CDRs and stuff.
What a time.
So you didn't know the artist name. We were just copying other people's
Yeah.
CDs and then it just had the track and then we'd
The name of the song, you didn't really know who the artists
yeah.
were.
But it was like, it was like, just all the regular main ones. Like, I don't even.
Because you saying Ekolu, shout out Ekolu, that's the family right there.
That's the
Just to
bro.
kind of see where you guys got a hold of their music and then you start other artists that are going in there.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like, okay, what were we singing at the train station and all that?
Yeah.
Like, we'd be singing like, I saw you there, stand, like all those songs. And then Pachi, like they played him religiously. Like I remember like I'd be at like the church swimming carnival and playing his whole album. We
Pachi.
all knew the medley, like, you're mine, and then it would like eternity.
But that's crazy how like
Yeah.
Pachi got to you guys. You had artists like Fiji, Ekolu, like
They were the two. The
Yeah.
two main ones was Fiji and Pachi, and that was like they were like the main things. Like you would hear them everywhere, and and honestly, it went from like because they were polys, and then obviously because they were polys, we were playing them at church because church was predominantly poly.
Yeah.
And so then everyone, and that's how it mutated, and then would be playing it at school. Then the white kids would hear it at school, and then
Now it just spread like wildfire because
And-
you guys were actually feeling the influence and giving these other people what the
100%.
music was.
And all the way to then I'm doing the music and the live stuff, and I opened for Fiji
Yeah. Woo.
as a local. He didn't even see me. So
Yeah.
he's
But
probably-
still to open up for Fiji as an artist, listening
Yeah.
to his music, seeing like the likes of Bug and Common Kings, but Fiji
was
coming
the
over.
highlight of my life.
Yeah.
Like, I remember like spending all my $430 pay for this week on like it was the absolute highlight of our like opening for a lot of these artists. Like I remember being more excited, like because I've opened for all kind of people, like The Game, Janae, like
Because they always would get like mainstream acts as well,
Yeah.
besides the island reggae artists.
exactly. And I remember opening for all kind of people, but I remember we opened for Fiji and Berg, and because like at the time the local we were just so lucky that we were making music and doing it, and we were sort of the local actor that got to do because we were more. You have your R&B singers and they were using like producers or
Yeah.
DJs.
Yep.
But because we were using live instruments, we would get the reggae artists.
Yeah.
Because that would just worked like that. And so I opened for Fiji. He didn't see it, but I never forget. I was at the sound check, and that was my first introduction to Burns. Shout out to Burns.
Shout out Burns, man. Burns Talanoa.
The myth,
That's
the,
right there.
the most one of the most important people in our industry that
Yes.
people do not realize has played a huge role why we all get to do what we do, because she was so hard and scared the hell out of me.
You know what I'm
Like,
saying? Shut up.
No, I remember being in the back rafters. Like I was nobody. Like we brought all out. Because we weren't even going home. We were getting dressed in the toilet. Like, like we got to
the
be on
bathroom
in
was
5
green
minutes,
room.
and they're still sound checking. Like, but I remember seeing her, and she was just like, no, like just making sure
Yeah.
things went right. And I was like, oh, like, like
And if you guys know Burns is
she was just
gonna make
about.
it do what it do.
She was about like making sure. Like she's like, my brother's not coming. I remember like, oh, like 'cause we're just like we were on that. Thank you for having us. Like
Yeah.
whatever. Like we don't
Just
care.
grateful.
Like just grateful to be there. And so yeah, I met Bones for the first time, and it was a very like hello,
Yeah.
but just
Quick and passing.
watching that relationship and all that was just amazing, and I put that in my back pocket. And I met it was Langa and
Man, shout
Jarrell, and he was the one, and Jarrell, and they were all saw me, like so the band, like they
Jay
saw
Keys,
us. Yeah.
Langa Severe, that's the fam right there.
And
Rest
Langa
in
was
peace
the
to
one
Langa.
who was like, he's amazing. Like,
Also,
I was like-
Langa was the one that was
he was the one of the main ones that saw me first and remembered and kept telling them about like this kid in Brisbane. And yeah, so but we connected on the internet, and I was like, whatever.
Because Langa Severe was also an artist. I mean, he was there with Boog too, but he was also an artist at the time. and
Yeah,
doing-
he was the drummer. I think he was the drummer.
Yeah.
And then he sang. He would sing as well, like on Fiji set, like a couple of songs. But he was just sort of coming out as an artist. but I remember from like.
but Langa being the one that discovered Sammy.
Yeah, he was one of the main one, like was telling people like, and me and Langa have always connected in a different way because of he could sing, like he was amazing, and his knowledge of music was just insane, and it's so weird to think of him in past tense just because it's like we've lost so many good artists, but he was one of the ones that sort of really like poured into, like was like, no, you can do it. And I was like,
if you guys know Langa and know Survey, like he was like what Sammy just said. He had an ear.
Yeah, he really did.
And then just like now it kind of makes sense for kind of saying no, he can sing.
And I'm pretty sure he was the one that probably like, you know, now that I'm an artist and like names come across the table and people bring up, I'm sure that he vouched for me in many rooms where my name would come up. He was like, nah, this like, now that I'm the artist and people are like, what do you think about Arnold? And like, we're not going to do anything like, you know, but people just want to know about artists, like whether like what we think, and that with that information, people, they book them or they work with them, like just from someone like, yeah, he's cool. And so he did that for me.
And Langa was reputable too. Like Langa knew what he was talking about as far as knowing who was who and what was up in the music industry.
Well, I didn't know then, but I just knew that he was the drummer and he was real cool and he had his own songs. And and it was just that he like had said something about me. So that was probably in the back of Feeja's mind. And, you know, fast forward like another 3-4 years, I was working with Noah Cronin on my first project. But even at that time, I still wasn't, I'd been on a mission and everything had come back. And
so after you met Langa, that's when you went on your mission?
Would have either before or just after.
Okay.
But when I went on a mission, I pressed pause on music. It wasn't even.
And that takes about what? Mission's about 2 years. 2 years. So that's 2 years removed from music when you already have a little bit of head of steam going towards it.
A tiny bit, but and I remember people saying like, well, like, you're not going to be able to do it after this. And I'm just like, I was very, very lucky to go on a mission. It was probably the best thing that I ever did because it prepared me for all of this. And I'm already bad enough as it is. So you can only imagine what I was like before that. So I came back and I wasn't going to. I became a social worker. Like I wasn't. I was content with my life.
No, because after the 2 years of the mission,
you know, like
now the music game changed.
Thinking about getting married in a temple, like that was just like, and you know, and it's a great thing. Like if that's what you choose to do, and music was not like I sort of just was like, oh, well, that was an amazing experience. Like I did the ice cream and all that, and then put that to the side. And then it sort of, that's when I joined the band. That after my mission, I got the itch, and so that's why I became that background singer. And so then it'll.
But I'm glad you said that the itch came back, because after a 2-year mission, you could there's a fork in the road where you can get the itch or not have the itch. And coming from the background where you had two sisters that kind of just had a stint in the music, and now now for you to come back after 2 years,
there's a negative taste in the air in my family about music because of that, you know.
And so that could easily steer you in the way to say, okay, then I don't got to do music either.
No, and
what was the itch?
It was and I think this just goes across for all creators. Like I truly believe that if you're called to something, then you're called to it, and no matter how much you run away from it or you try and do other things, you're only prolonging the inevitable, because if that's what you're supposed to do, that's what you're going to do. And I knew that I loved to sing, but this was a time when I never told people that, but I just got my fixed singing background, and writing for other, but my parents, I remember my parents what, I was working for the government, Queensland Health.
After your mission.
I've gotten, after years of embarrassing my parents, I finally,
this was like this,
I had a good job. I was RM.
It was the norm at that time.
And life was I was only smooth, I was all good. And then the music, and it was everyone sort of, some people will look at it as I was backsliding, or why are you, my parents didn't quite understand it, and they didn't discuss, but they just weren't really supportive of that. Okay, it's a hobby. And I was
well, especially after dealing with what your sisters went through as well, and they had already put the money and stuff up for them.
And so they're oh, it's just a hobby. But then it became more than a hobby, and I was working. I was traveling locally, And I just kept singing and making, and it just till I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like I would do the weekends, then fly back in on the Monday morning, get changed at the airport, go straight to the office at my work.
So you was trying to
I was
juggle
doing
both.
both. I did both for a long time.
And I think you have to do both at that time, especially because when your life is life and you have what you have as your job. You kind of have your thing that's going to steer you, but you also, I say it's passion that called you back because there's a reason why the itch was there. And I say when you have your passion, you kind of see where you had the likes. You're 2 years removed from music, but this is where you kind of had buzz from ice cream, and now you kind of there. Yeah. Now you're doing this. Now you kind of going working there, and you're doing the music.
Yeah.
When did you start the album and start to work with the artists like Feej and them to kind of start to say, okay, now I can kind of like go steer towards more of that to that path?
It's funny because so I was back and I was doing my office work and singing, and I don't even know how I was doing gigs without songs. So
was it covers?
Singing, yeah, so that's where the YouTube and my use of YouTube played a huge role in my career. And so when I did maybe 2 covers, like Just Like a Star.
Y'all remember that one?
And I loved that song, like that was true to my taste of like that whole like.
That was your genre.
Indian, that was your, So, and then we were writing songs like, so as a group, we were creating like originals, like, and so I was singing and everyone was recording their songs on YouTube. We were just recording our ones that we'd written ourselves. And so how I did it and why I have a career and why it's a little different to most people is that when most artists who are up and coming, they record covers, like singing other. I made videos of singing my own songs.
Originals. Got it.
And they were not recorded songs. I'd just written them and we were performing them live. And so then we would just sing them. And so because of those originals, and I posted them all, that you go back and you look, and that's most people's introduction to me is my own songs. And so then fast forward, producers are like, Noel Cronin and all these other producers are like, well, how come you don't record these? I was like,
because you were just doing them just for YouTube.
We don't have a studio. We don't know anything about that. We're just singing them. Is this reggae? I didn't even know. Like he strummed it like that, and then that's what it became. And so Noah made the rhythms and sent them back, and I was like, it was a very strange feeling, like hearing like the real production to a song that we're just imagining, like we're playing it with the school guitar that we stole from the music room, like. Sorry. That's what you get for kicking me out of music. Yeah.
But now they're structured now. Now they're structured, they're studios.
I'm going to studios and I'm like, I've never recorded like that in my life. And so there's a guy and he's amazing, still in Brisbane, still making music. He's just a beast. His name is Sailatu, and he had huge fame like on TV, singing on TV and stuff. But he's still, and I remember he was from my sister's era, and like I used to think.
So he knew about you from your sisters, and
because she would like, and I remember I'd gotten the rhythms, and I knew that I couldn't just go to a studio by myself.
Yeah,
because what the hell did I know? And so I asked him, and he graciously took whatever coins I had, and that's how Wishing on Your Love happened.
Man.
And I would never forget. This is all happening quietly. My parents don't know. I'm still working at the social work.
So this is still all
everything
in hiding of what you're doing.
I hadn't let go of anything. I was trying to keep it all together. And so I did that. And then, he recorded. It was I had to travel all the way. Took my mum's Barina, 2 doors.
You had to do what you had to do at that time.
I'm just going to the gym. I'm like, please make it to the Gold Coast. Like, never driven that far in my life. Like, I only was driving like to the gas station or to work. Like,
I'll be right back.
It was like a journey. Like, oh my gosh, I'm driving to the Gold Coast for that. Like that. And so I'm doing that, and I did it in the night, and then I had no idea like whether it was good. I just never forget. Like, nothing was planned in a sense, and I think that's missing from today. A lot of that is, but I went in, I didn't know what version or what run was or the stacking. I just went and did it. I put it like all on that was the song because my dream was like to have one real song, record one song
in a studio
and release it, and then I'll be good. Like then the itch will go away. I'll go back to my normal life. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but that just
and every now and
spiraled
again, I'll
into-
be the local artist. And then I released it, and then that's when everything got even bigger.
Yeah.
And I couldn't contain it anymore. Like,
It takes us back to Passion because that single, that also made its way to the States.
oh, it did?
Yeah, through the YouTubes and stuff like that too. But when you released it, like, that's when people started to listen because now there was like almost a cross connection between.
Because they knew the
Yes.
live version and they like had got to know it because then that's when you could YouTube to MP3.
Yeah, exactly. Burn it from there. YouTube
And so then
to
like
MP3.
those live versions and it was the greatest setup that I never knew existed that I didn't even know that I'd done for myself was to sing these originals live and people knew them. And so then when I recorded all of them, dropped them, everybody knew them already.
Yeah.
The work had already been done. It just was like automatic, like we're going to buy it. And so that's how it really, like people always talk about me, like, how did that happen so quickly? Because it was very fast.
Yeah.
But because I'd done all unintentionally. It wasn't a masterclass. I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
And sometimes those are the best ones, though.
It was.
Those are the best ones because then now
Yeah.
you have that aspect of it, but now you get visuals behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us how the visuals came about because the visuals is what, like now you put the music to a video. Now you
Yeah.
got a music video. Now you have a little bit of a package going on. Now you have a music video and you have the single. Tell us how that came
fast
about.
forward, all that happened, dropped the first single. Then I quit my job and leave Australia, moved to New Zealand, new manager, like things from the one single changed very quickly. And,
Yeah.
and I'm working on, I was working on a gospel project called the Brown Hymn Book. My manager at the time, Brett Goebel, and that was another setup for my next sort of into. So I moved to New Zealand with my manager, Brett, and his family, and he was
Yeah.
so good to me in the sense like letting me live with his family.
Yeah.
like
If you guys don't know the last name, we're talking about Paris as well.
yeah, no, they were amazing. But
Yeah.
Brett saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. Again, like I've been very lucky along the way to have people that I just don't, even now I just don't see what people see. But like I like what I do and I love it, but I don't see that. Like it's just, I don't know why, but he saw that. And so he took a chance and invested a lot in me. And his daughter, Paris Goebel, who is absolutely amazing.
Worldwide phenomenon.
Do not feel worthy even mentioning. I'm not dropping that name like for clout. Like,
No, that's what these podcasts are
because
for.
it
It's
is
the name
what
drop.
like I was living with them. Like, but don't put my name in that same sentence because she's so even now like just
shout out Paris Goebel, man.
a talent
worldwide
that
talent.
I don't know we'll ever see again.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Just her, she's so good at what she does, and she has an eye. And what people don't realize about Paris is that she has an eye and an ear for way more than dance.
Yeah.
Singing, like for music, for visuals, for fashion, like she's just
all around industry.
Very
and
good at just like. I obviously we'd known each other for years, like just on, oh my gosh, you're biggest fan. Like, you know, like we're all connecting. The internet is doing what it's.
Yeah.
So we're all like finding out about Instagram. We're all connecting and so that's how all of that happened. But she, Brett asked her to film. We're doing everything in house, like, you know. And so she was the one who filmed all the video clips, the early video clips.
No way. Hold on. This is I'm today years old finding out about this. So Paris was the one who did this.
Yeah, so like the very first, I think it was Fall in Love was the first one, was it?
Shout out Paris Goebel. So music video director upon the resume with Paris.
Yeah.
And she's not just choreographing these. Now she's the director of Sammy's early videos.
She was so amazing with me in a sense where, I mean, obviously like, we sort of got along on the fashion side because we all, like people, I don't care. People,
the fashion side.
People were teasing us for years about what, don't get like, we were always the weird poly kids wearing Doc Martens.
Fashion forward.
Fashion forward. Wearing Doc Martens, just wearing weird clothes, like just because, you know, and I think Polynesians in general have come a long way in that sense where, I don't know if it was like that here, but it was a very like standard, this is what we wear. Well, like the tall tees and the dickies.
Yeah, the tall tees were here. We had the big ones.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, but I think Paris and me, and like we grew up in homes that were a lot like there was just because my mum is Australian and she was an art major, or she's an artist, an amazing artist, still to this day. And so we had influence of like that. Whereas, you know, you have two poly parents who maybe first generation, they're just trying to make money and get the green card and like make it happen. And I understand that. And so certain things were more important in households than others. And in my household, we were still broke, don't get it twisted. Like, but my mum had she had dreams of her own. And so there was that. And I think in the Global House, it was the same. Like Brett is a very successful, had his own marketing company and still is today very successful. So like you get to see people living different dreams. And I think that's where the whole, we're just very eclectic and different in a sense where like we were open to more.
Because that falls into the place of what you're talking about. If you guys know the videos we're talking about too, these are the early videos where the fashion forwardness that you have, and now it makes all the sense knowing about Paris now, because when you see your early videos, you don't expect, so from us being in the States watching those videos. You're thinking
you're going to see something at the
totally
beach
different.
And like.
Because that's your first, thought of seeing it. But when you see it, it's so well done.
We're weirdos. We're just complete weirdos. Like, I think it's the opening scene and it's all denim jackets. And like, that's the garage door. We stuck them into the, and then closed it, like as on the mall.
But it was on some Hype Williams storytelling stuff of the way of the videos were. Yeah. Because there was a story being told along with the song that it just all fit perfectly.
Paris.
Yeah.
And she would, it's just like, I guess, and I learn a lot from her in the way that so when you hear a song, what you're seeing in your mind, and that's sort of how she would, like, this word would make you feel like you're holding hands and swinging. So she would put that, like,
wow.
And I like, she's so talented, but the fashion and all that, she obviously, because we all sort of were into the same thing, same artists and stuff. So it was an automatic. Like I already knew what she was gonna do.
Because it's also pulling from influences that you guys are still what you and Paris are talking about. Because now
in
it makes all the sense now.
In and outside of music, just in just how, like, what type of people we were. And honestly, she'll do it in the day, stay up all night, edit it herself, and then what do you think? We're like, yes. Like, and we did that for a bunch of them. There was the one, Fall in Love, and then Leaving Me, I think was one.
Because Fall in Love is a classic. All those ones from the first project was classics. But then you come across the Fiji song. How did that come about?
Oh, yes. So I'd moved to New Zealand, and I was just very lucky in a sense. I didn't ever think it was like, I'd worked on the EP and it was sort of like at the 70%. Like I'd done most of the vocals and I did two because it was Brentwood. I was by then I was locked in with Sai.
Yeah,
and I still would go back even though I moved to New Zealand. I'd fly back to Brisbane.
Yeah,
and I'd taken on a little mentor tree, and that's a whole nother situation. So I'd done the songs, and then I knew that I wanted to have a feature, and so Brett's sister-in-law, shout out to Rabina, she is David Tua's ex-wife.
Okay, shout out David Tua.
And they're all good, like, love these guys. But
wow, I never knew David Tua would be into this.
And he's a part of it. He plays a huge role in all of it too. And so, because David Tua and Fiji are very close
really
friends,
close.
like to the end, like just very close. And Fiji would fly over and support him in his fights. And so whenever they would come, Rabina, who was married to David at the time, and that she would take Fijian burns around, and like, you know,
that was the connection.
Yeah, and so I'm working on music, and then you have Rabina's like, hey, I could probably ask Fiji if he want to be on a song. And I was like, wow, whatever.
Yeah, because at that point it's like asking Michael Jackson.
I'm over here like, I have just hit a gold mine. Like, my manager's daughter is making my video.
Exactly. You got Paris over here. You got David Tua's ex-wife.
And like, yeah, it was. I will never deny anything that happened. Like, it was a huge blessing, and we were all just locked in. And it was so good. And so I never forget. I recorded it at the community recording studio in Otara. I don't know if you know where.
Wow.
Otara is it's where Once Were Warriors was filmed. Like, it's very South Auckland.
South
it's
Auckland,
not
man.
rough.
Yeah.
I think Otara and South Auckland gets a bad name. Like it is like that, but it's also where some of the greatest creatives are from. Like, and it was a very cool place. But yeah, and they had a great studio.
Yeah.
And so I went and we were using the community studio as OMAC. Shout out to OMAC. And he rolls in. I never forget. It was a real quick. It just happened. Like he rolls into to OMAC. And he just like, and I just, by then I was just like, I didn't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even.
So that was the first studio session with him.
I didn't feel, it was just the one.
Yeah.
Like, it was real quick. Like, we talked, but it was more like Rabina and him coming in to help this kid. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even think he knew, like, he hadn't quite
Put
it all together.
Yeah.
He didn't even, he's like, I got to go do this song.
Yeah.
Because my friend Rabina. Like, you know, and I get it. And I knew that. And I didn't even, and then, so he hadn't heard the song.
Oh, so he just went in there dry, not knowing what it...
Maybe heard a little bit, but
Okay.
not like, you know, he's on tour at the time.
And this is Fall in Love.
This was for Give Me All.
Oh, oh my
But it was
God.
on the first
Yes.
EP. So this is me wrapping up the first album. He rolls in and yeah, literally like here's it. I never forget he just looks up. Yeah, all right, track me. And
The good old feed process. Yeah.
Then put me at the front and he's like, does the intro, then does his ad libs and like then we're listening together and he was like, oh, he wanted to do the whole EP.
Yeah.
But I would have been like, yes.
Yeah, once he starts getting in the groove with you.
But the deadline was like, we had deadline, you know, for get it out, like just our own goals and stuff.
Yeah.
But he wanted at least, like he wanted to be on 3 and the first time I ever had to say no to someone I didn't want to, I was like, no.
Because we're talking about like, especially with this project coming out, Feej coming over there. Now you're kind of like saying, okay, now I'm in this island reggae realm.
But then like I knew that I was doing island reggae and like obviously I was in love with it by then.
Yeah.
Like I was deep in it. Like because obviously you had the first single and there was a choice like, do you want to make another island reggae? And I just really by then I was just hooked and I got it and I totally understood it. Yeah, I just knew more about it. And I think, yeah, a lot of, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah,
So Feej jumps on it and he was just amazing. And it was just cool. Like it was important for me as an artist. And this, I think for a lot of artists is that, it is good to have a feature of a famous person and it can kickstart, but I was very adamant that I needed at least 2 singles, like have a name before and it was, I think, third.
Which one was it?
Give Me All.
Give Me, yeah. Oh.
I'd had music out and I had somewhat of it.
Buzz. The buzz was going.
But he definitely kick-started that, like, onto the thing. And so, yeah, it was amazing. It was a huge, and I remember just not, I think now, like, I there's a lot of things I regret in my career and a lot of things I wish that I had taken time to understand a little, like, because what had happened in that was history literally like happening and I didn't realize it. And yeah, like I don't think even I realized what had happened like in that moment and a lot of things, I regret not celebrating a lot of the things that I have accomplished and that might be just because I maybe imposter syndrome or like I just don't think that it was that exciting. But yeah, it was a huge, huge thing. And I like by that point I'm like I've surpassed all expectations.
Yeah, for what you
for my own dreams.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like I didn't like everything was a surprise and everything was insane. And so yeah, we did that. I put that and I just couldn't believe that I got that. And I remember Noah was like, I was like, yeah, nah. Because like he's from Hawaii and he was in Kolohe Kai. So they're already very established.
Yeah.
And so like I'm saying, oh yeah, I got Fiji. And I'm still like.
But having Fiji on there like as a feature, now this is like your first EP coming out there. Now like, you know, you still have the Adizes, the Aradnas and everything.
Yeah.
Now that you have this feature that almost like catapults you into this genre where
I
it's
had no
like,
idea what it was going to do.
because
And
it did.
It did.
Because even though that project alone kind of like solidified your place in island reggae.
Oh, yeah.
Because and that's when all the people who didn't hear from you from who didn't hear about you from Ice Cream and everything in early works.
There's two different people.
Yes.
I felt like it was two different people.
Because
people
if you
didn't put
play
them.
Ice Cream and you play that, you see the growth.
Yeah.
Like, especially for those who know what I'm talking about when you listen to these two songs, you see the growth in production, you see the growth in the writing, where now that you have this kind of like sign off where, you know, where Fiji's vouching for you, because Fiji wasn't just working with anybody.
Yeah.
He really
wasn't.
took something for Fiji to believe in you, to kind of, you did need the connection, and the connection, of course, was through David too and his ex-wife as well.
Shout out to
but
them,
now,
man.
shout out them to bring that connection. But now you're in it. Now you're kind of like starting to say, okay, you're getting a buzz in the States. What's causing that to kind of say, okay, I can actually go across the water to start doing some shows? Because now you're not just the local band now. Now you're not just Sammy J coming from a group and coming from that. Now you have the sign off from Fiji. Now you kind of have this where it's flourishing now.
It was that just happened. It was all happened very quickly. I never forget. Like I was, and so everything, it was huge. And then, what was the question? Sorry?
No, give us your first thing. So now you're coming over to the States now that you have this EP.
Yeah, so that was wild. How did all that happen? Like a lot. How do I explain it?
Because now you got now the buzz is buzzing. Now with the EP that come out, now you have 2 singles with Fiji. Now you have a whole complete project where you have visuals, you know, directed by Paris as well. Now you have all the elements to kind of make the established artist thing kind of go where you start making money off these shows doing concerts.
I think, how did I get to, I did, I don't even know how it happened. It was so fast. I think me and Brett and I had a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
And so it was drop the EP.
What year, how long did it take for the EP? Was that out of your 5-year plan? Was that 1 or 2 years?
Oh no, I did that.
Oh, you did it quick.
Like months.
Okay. So that was part of the first year of the 5-year
I
plan.
learned a lot of good things from Brett in working hard and working fast and following through.
Yeah.
And what people don't realize, I recorded that whole EP, the vocals, and wrote most of the other in like 4 days.
Yeah.
So he flew me back to Brisbane. He's like, "You got 4 days." I've written. I was like,
Yeah.
so I wrote a lot of that. I still do a lot. I wrote it real quick, and so that was in the form. I did the album. The EP, Beach, and I think Tree.
Shout out Tree as well. Don't forget about that.
Tree was
one.
with me this whole time.
Shout out Tree, man. That
Tree,
dope artist as well.
Tree was, I've known Tree, funny how it all. So Ness, Sammy J and Ness. Tree is related to Ness.
Yes.
So
Okay. That's the connection.
Yeah. So Ness's 21st birthday.
Yeah.
Tree flies over. She's the cousin.
Yeah.
And we met at his birthday. Shout out to Ness. He's still making music.
Shout
He's
out
amazing.
Ness, man. Come on, man.
It's wild how like they're all
the
still
connections
going.
are crazy.
Yeah, John Sequetta, who's he's playing. He's Boog's background singer. He's an amazing artist himself. And anyway, so that happens. Tree. Funny side note about Don't Say Goodbye.
Oof, I was just about to get into that.
Yeah. So Tree, I met Tree with Ness. And then she flew back to Auckland. And when I moved to Auckland, I had shows. So Brett was like, he was so good, but so hard.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, welcome to New Zealand. You've got your EP. You've got to do this and that. And then these are your shows. And I'm like, shows? He's like, and they're full band. And I was like, okay, well, how do I, who's the band? He's like, I don't know, but you better figure it out because you've got. And he was just like, and I was like, well how do I? What do I do?
Yeah.
He's like, listen. I was like, I'm funding this. Like, I will help you, but that's not my job. That's your job. Yeah. And it was, And he stood on that and just went back to where I was like,
Brett was pretty he was going to get you where you needed to be.
Yep.
But don't skip over the Tree thing because Don't Say Goodbye.
Yeah,
this is where Tree.
This is where it all. Oof. So I knew Tree. That was the only person in music. And I knew that she was in the scene. She was in university at the time. And so I freshly moved to New Zealand, have a song on the radio, New FM's playing, I've got a little buzz.
Yeah, the buzz was
and
buzzing.
I give her a call and I was like, I need to find a band. I need to find and so we went, then she started taking me to, they had a thing in Otahu, it's open mic night. And that's how I met all my band. Like we would go every week and sing a song and then we'd connect. And so Three Houses Down was running that.
And shout out Three Houses Down, man.
And so that's how I met all my the background singers, like Saya, the two Sayas, Pulau, whose little sister now is she sings
dope
with me.
artist, by the way.
All insane. Yeah. Like I was so intimidated by all of them because I don't like these are kids like, and I think it was a world that I just, the best thing I ever did was to move to New Zealand for my music because we never I was in the little groups in Australia. I had no background in music. I never went to school. I never studied it. It wasn't. And so it was all just like whatever. And then I'm meeting these people like Tree, and they're studying music at university.
Yeah.
And the scene there was so, I get it why New Zealand artists were killing it, why we looked over. They were just so good.
But now you're in it. You're there now.
Yeah. And so Tree introduced me to her friends and I just started working with, and these are all artists who obviously will move on and become major artists that you hear now, but we were all in the melting pot together, just trying to figure it out.
Just in the midst of it.
Yeah, just trying to figure it out. And so that's how I met all the band members, and then Tree was with me all the time. And people don't realize is that Tree's voice is on a bunch of records on Prelude.
Yeah.
So I would fly her with me. And so she's the one, she's on Fall in Love, it's like, things that you do.
Yes,
there's a girl voice.
The run.
There's a girl voice. I would get all my friends in and they would sing double up on different backgrounds. So I'd do them all myself and then they would come in to texture it. And then, so Don't Say Goodbye was the last song I remember. It was our last day in Brisbane and I hadn't written it.
You just had to hurry but get to that one, right?
We just had the rhythm. We're like, okay. I had an idea and I was like, we have to write this song. We have to figure it out.
What's the process? What's the Sammy J writing process when you get into? So you get the rhythm, and now you kind of already have the vibe.
Because I sent an idea, a little mumble note and voice note to Noah, and then so he'd made it around that. And
like a reference track.
Yeah, and so then he sends the rhythm and he would structure it, and so then I would figure it out. We're driving. I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
Get him in trouble.
Someone lights a cigarette. Disgusting habit. And then, girl, you light my fire. Because maybe someone lit a cigarette for someone else. I don't know. And we're laughing in the car and then so Brisbane, summer, it's 40 degrees, which is around 100 or 90 or something. I can't feel because we had no aircon in my mum's marina, so we're winding the windows down. And that's how we're just writing it and we're joking, laughing about it. It was just being stupid. And Tree wasn't supposed to be on the song. It wasn't a feature. It was just I got a last song. She was there assisting me and then I put her on it and it became this monster. She was dating Swiss at the time. They weren't married.
Shout out brother Swiss.
She went out the night before and was had some adult beverages or whatever. And so her voice was hoarse. And so then I'm calling John's to come in because she couldn't hit her high notes. So it's me and John who's actually that's me and John because she had the huskiest voice ever that day. So how about that?
So no wait. So you and John did the high on that one?
Yes.
Ooh, come on, that's ball John, right there. Bet y'all didn't know that.
She did it, but it was
it was hungover voice.
We just would call anyone and everyone. Yeah. And so we did the whole song. It was I remember it was hadn't even Noah hadn't added something by accident, or there was how it's oh boy, your love got me going. There was nothing there. We had, and we were to make something up for that, and then I would never forget. It was all just we didn't have time to call Noah. Can you take that weird extra thing? So then I left it in there. And I took it back, and Brett said it was the worst song on that.
When he heard "Don't Say Goodbye,"
he said it was the worst song.
No.
He
And
was
that's
an
one of the most classic songs.
He just said, "Oh, is this? What? It's like, and so
with Tree on it.
yeah, he's just like, oh, I don't know. Like, and because I guess like in his mind, and I get it, like from a marketing perspective, like people were already calling me and Tree the garbage bag kid.
Oh, wow.
Because we, like, you know, I was like, we were broke.
Yeah.
So we were at thrift stores, like buying all kind of random stuff, like lying to each other, like, yeah, that looks so good. That looks so cool.
In the thrift store.
Yeah, like we're gonna look so cool. We're at the show, like we look stupid.
But that's what makes it so dope. Like I think
dumb,
the eclecticness from it is what makes it so dope in you as an artist, because going at the thrift stores and still to this day, like even when we do shows now, you're like, I'll go to the thrift stores now.
Yeah, I always never ever stop doing that. But yeah, so Brett was like, well, I don't know. And he said, he put it at the end of the EP. So he's like, hopefully
they won't get that far, right?
like they'll already be hooked by the time.
Yeah.
And I knew it was a good song.
Yeah.
Like
it's like, if you guys know, that's like every show you do, that is like the finale song, because that's what everybody knows. Like not even just from New Zealand, Australia, in the States, that's like the biggest Sammy J. So Sammy J, you get Don't Say Goodbye.
Yeah, it was just something about like, it wasn't even the subject matter. It was more like the melodies in it just felt reminiscent of, I don't know, but I knew that it was a good song. Like sometimes you write a song and you think it's going to be good, but I knew that one was going to go well. And I knew like everything that I'd sort of made singles and I sort of, and we finished the session, we were like, wow, like we did like, but then to Brett was like, I don't like it. What?
And it's always those songs.
It was so
that
strange.
People don't think is going to blow up. That'd be like your biggest hit.
He just thought maybe it was a bit too fobby or like, or I'm not sure what, but we did look pretty rough, like what.
But even then you talk about the visuals for it. Like then you shoot the visuals
that
for
video
it.
clip is hilarious. Let me tell you. So then the EP drops.
Yeah.
And of course, the number one song, like you see it, because on iTunes at the time, it were like the order, I think it's still the same, but the order of the songs that come up for the artists is the ones that sell, and Don't Say Goodbye.
Shut up.
And I'm like, but it was the one time, let me just give Brett credit. It was the only time Brett was ever wrong. Everything else he said was right. He was right about all the rest.
But Brett to this day will say, nah, I knew that was going to be the one.
No, he will.
But now you have the success of this EP.
Yeah.
Now you have the buzz. Now you're over here in the States. But now it's like you have to have the follow-up, because everything that's follow-up since then, have you ever think I have to top Don't Say Goodbye? Now it's kind of like, because the success of Don't Say Goodbye, like we talk about everybody's hits.
The curse of
the curse of the banger, right? The number one hit. Like what was the curse for you to kind of say, I have to keep making music that's going to kind of, excel, but it's going to exceed for Don't Say Goodbye?
I think for me, so the EP is finished and all that's happening, but I, as a creative, I'm always making or have ideas. And so by the time the EP had dropped, like I already had another like album in my mind, or like I'd written a bunch of stuff. But to be honest, like it was because nothing was planned, so to like too much. We had our 5-year plan. I knocked out the 5-year plan within a year or two. Like we knocked it out. Like
it super exceeded what.
Yeah. And so the 5-year plan was to then go on to America to do the same thing, or to work, because in New Zealand, the music industry there is amazing. But for an island reggae artist, it's only so far you can kind of go. Yeah,
once you did everything you did in the area,
you sort of plateau, and then you do it again, and then you realize like, okay, I'll either have to change genres or, and I could have, but I just.
And that was always a question we always talk about. Yeah. Was it ever a point when you were in the island reggae, say, I'm going to go back to the R&B soul genre? Or you were just kind of like, I'm already in it, so we're going to stay here.
I absolutely love to do that. But I think this is where Feej, and so in all of this, excuse me, Feej has now become my mentor.
Yeah.
And he's overseeing like behind the scenes, like things that I'm more the creative side of things. And he was like, it's not time yet. And I always knew there's this ongoing debate of artists that come in, the genre, to get a name in it. But usually those people don't end up having a career after that. I'm just not all of them, but
no, absolutely.
You can try and finesse the game, but the game will always finesse you. Like
the game knows the grind.
And so, but it wasn't on from a place where you got to stick around it.
Yeah.
He just was like, I guess, and behind the scenes, there's this debate going on, like, is Sammy J legit? Is he this or is he? Because I was doing things that, like, Beach laid the template where he sang the soulful, but I was singing, like
runs,
doing
and
like,
but like crazy runs. Like I think that's why people know with your voice, like the runs and everything.
Yeah.
They weren't used to that in the island reggae.
Exactly,
run.
and I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
but I just was singing the way I sing it. So, yeah, I guess people are like, well, he shouldn't be in this.
Yeah,
like island reggae, and we just sing like this. But I was locked in. Like I understood now that was my point of difference, and that was a great space to be in.
That was going to set you apart.
There's no one around here. Like there. and in so doing that, and I had to do the shows, and I had to do all the radio in Hawaii and do all that stuff and prove that I was like legitimate, and because there was he's, and it was a weird experience to be in it, because I just thought that I'd gotten over that in Australia. Like I'm just in New Zealand, I had to do it in Australia. I had to prove that I wanted it. And
now you're in Hawaii.
I moved to New Zealand. Like, wow, you want to come here? And I'm just like, but I'm like,
the same struggles when you.
Like, what are you talking about? And so then I like had to prove, and it was like bad in New Zealand. Like a lot of people were like, we don't like, you're not from here. Like, and so it was weird, because I'm like, well, yes, I am, but it's just not my fault that my mom wanted to pop me out here. Like, but it was the hardest was in New Zealand, but I did the work, did the time, and I proved it.
Was it hard for you in Hawaii when you had to go do that run with
and
media and everything?
Because the difference was in New Zealand, that's what I love about New Zealand, is like whatever we think is what we're going to say. Like, or like, we don't like you, you're going to know. Like, we're like,
especially this demographic. I think just New Zealand and this demographic.
We just don't have time. And that's why I get in trouble all the time. Because I'm like, well, I don't like that person. Like, you can't say that.
Yeah.
But I don't. Like just smile at them.
But even with that, like the struggles for like, because you come from something like we talk about with what you don't agree with and what you come with within the music scene now.
Yeah.
Like you seen like if you didn't like something or you something where it was under a microscope now because you kind of had that buzz. Now you kind of had to be careful of what you had to say and what you had to do.
100%. I struggled a lot.
but then how do you deal with that as an artist? Because now you're coming in the realm where now you're getting notoriety. Now you're starting to get the fame.
I didn't know that there was something to lose.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. To this day, I still get in trouble but I've just been I'm a firm believer that like if you curate a person or like a version of yourself, like it's too hard. Like you have to do that for the rest of your life, and I can't. But I definitely can't. But I obviously, as you get older, like I know, like you can't. Like I'm not gonna just be rude to someone.
Yeah.
But I think in saying like going to Hawaii in America, like I didn't know that I was in a debate. Like I didn't know that they were like, and but I was just so happy to be there, and so I'm meeting all these artists, and it wasn't across the board, but a lot of people were just like weary. But I did my time there, and Hawaii's probably been one of my savior, and I think in living on this side of the world, because people there are just amazing. They're the reason why I have such longevity, because of the time that I spent there. And I continue to.
Yeah, Hawaii always embraces talent, and when embraces, and they're loyal. They're loyal.
They're loyal, but like every Polynesian, like it takes some time.
Yeah, it's
like,
you ain't gonna get it right off the bat. You have to work for it.
The table, like, and so but and that's another part of the reason why I haven't left, because like there is a sense of there's still work to be done, and I think especially losing Feed.
Yeah,
like we're in a weird place in the music, island reggae, in the industry right now as it is. I think it's a weird, very weird place. There's great music coming out, but I think without sounding there is like
This we're gonna say disconnect. There's a disconnect.
There's a disconnect, and then there's a bunch. I can like people like, well, I'm moving up.
Yeah.
Like, not that there are ranks, but I just think like there was this quick like, who's the next, or like, and
Yeah.
that
And that goes
Instagram
right to it. And I
person didn't
think
help that either. But
I'm right there with you because I think when we lost Feej, I think Feej was kind of like the matriarch to the music
Yeah.
scene. And I think once we lost Feej, it kind of all went which way, which he held everything together.
yeah, and it comes to like we all respected him as an artist and as a person, and he has the most skin in the game. Maybe not the longest, but
Yeah.
Feej had the most. Like, and I don't know. Like, I think it'll be fine. It's just like we're all dealing with like the shock of it all. Like, even though we knew that it was coming.
Yeah. And I talked about it a little bit too when we kind of knew, we seen Feej's
Yeah.
health decline.
Like, those of us who knew him well, we knew.
Yeah.
But the world sort of saw it coming too.
Yeah.
And that was in itself hard to watch
Yeah.
for me. I just,
It's like seeing a family member deteriorate
Yeah.
in front of your eyes.
and he knew that it was coming and like, I didn't want to watch it because
Yeah.
like he made his choices and like we all respected it and I get it. You know, he worked very hard.
Yeah.
And you could even say he literally gave everything.
Yeah.
Like everything he did was for us, for this genre. And I don't know anyone that would do that. I
Yeah.
don't know anyone.
And I still think being in this demographic for as long as I've been and seen all the artists,
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be another Feej. And I don't think
No.
that there's going to be somebody that's going to take the role of what Feej did by like hopping on younger artists, you know, that
Yeah.
he believed in. Because now to this day, like it brings us back to Indigo.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being in the studio with Feej and he was like, hey, I got to show you this one I did with Sammy. And I was like, I drove over to the studio. I was like, all right, play it. And we played it maybe about 10 times. And just like, what was the phone call like when he said, hey, you got to hop on Indigo?
Which song was it?
I think, well, because you had two of them on there.
I did a bunch, yeah.
So I think it was the first one he showed me was the slower one. I forgot what the name of it was. But when he said, watch Sammy's part, he forwarded it to your part. And he went to play your, I was like, and we always talked about how your voice always stood apart from like, not just saying in feature wise, but it stood apart because as soon as the Sammy verse came on or feature came on, you was like, oh shit. You had to be comfortable in your skin to get a Sammy feature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think with him,
Why do people say that?
with Feej wanting to do that with you, he's seen how rare your voice was in this space. And did you kind of see that when you worked with him? Did he kind of tell you like you had something that would set you apart from a lot of other artists? Just in vocal range.
I think like with Feej and with me because naturally in any other industry, I would be the young kid coming for him.
Yeah.
Like that's the way, but it just was never like that.
Yeah.
Like, and
Because there was so much respect.
yeah, never. And it's just like he knew things that I could never do and I like vice versa. But he just, I don't know. Like, and the thing is like, he's one of those people like, whatever he said about me, I wasn't. He never said that to me.
Because when he told us to give it to me. Give it to me was
Give
the
it to
one
me,
that he
baby.
played.
Yeah.
So when he played Give It To Me, he said, even before I heard it, you goes, you got to hear Sammy's part on this. So I was like, what? So he didn't even play his part. He forwarded already. Shout out Troy and all the boys over there. But when we got to your part, like, did you feel like you had to step your game up when you had to do a feature
You know
on
what's
Feej?
funny? I didn't even think like
Yeah.
He sent it to me, and I just loved the song. It made me laugh because it's like, you know, I like it when you shake your waistline. like Feej was the man of like the one-liners. I'm just like you have no business singing this, first of all. But no, actually, so the song itself, it was his nephew, and I've gone blank in my head, who he's gonna kill me. Yeah. I want to give him his shout out because he deserves it.
Yeah.
I will find that. We'll fact check. But I met him. He was in Brisbane, Sydney,
Yeah.
and so I met him. He was like, "Can you please?" I was like, "Yeah, for sure." And then the song happened, and I did it. But I just, whatever Feej wants, I'm gonna do. I'll just do it. Like, and he never gives me I want you to do this. He's just like, just do it how you do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, like, have you ever been in the studio with that man? Like,
he's like a mad scientist when you get into with him.
And then to make it, like, you think being in studio with Fiji is bad. If Burns and Fiji are in the studio, Burns, I'm telling you, like, everybody needs a Burns.
Yeah.
She's quality control. Like, she be like,
Burns has no fluff. She'll tell you if it was whack.
And she doesn't like a lot of things. She likes what she likes, but they're very like, and like, so I'm trying to sing and she's like, and there's a note in one of the ones I remember she was at a session I was doing for him and the song went up and there was a note and I remember she was like, hit it and then I hit it and she's like, because I will see everything but working with Fiji is always a highlight. It's just like,
because you had two elements. You had the Give It To Me, and then you had Tell Me. And then it was like two separate ones.
Yeah.
Because Tell Me was a different one too, where it was kind of, you slowed it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And now you kind of got into your comfort zone. I mean, you had your comfort zone and Give It To Me too, but that's in your pocket.
It was fun because I don't do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love it. When people send me R&B stuff, I jump on it.
Yeah. Speaking of R&B stuff, you got to talk about For Your Love. So people don't like doing covers. I mean, or am I wrong about that? Because For Your Love is not just a cover for anybody.
Because I'm scatterbrained. I forget the lyrics to covers. That's why. I'm always like, but For Your Love that's not a cover. That's a classic. Like yeah. You want to talk about that song?
Because when you cover songs, you don't go after Stevie. Stevie's somebody you just don't go after. But when I remember getting the first version of it, and I remember I said, wait, Sammy's doing For Your Love by Stevie Wonder? Yeah. And I heard it, and I was like, no way.
Let me just tell you before all of that. So J Vibe, shout out to J Vibe.
Shout out J Vibe. That's the brother right there.
He has a lot of belief in me that I don't. But he hits me up and he's like, Sammy, I got this song. Like, we're working on my album. He's like, I think you should do this cover. And I was like, well, what is it? He's like, but before I tell you, you have to promise you're going to do it in original key and you're going to do all the key changes. And I was like, I promise. And then he sends it and I was like, wait. He's like, you have to do it. And I was like, all right. So then carry on. Like, I'll tell you my experience. You tell me yours. Like,
For Your Love, when J Vibe had sent it to me and Wastafa, and we were like, I ain't gonna lie, I knew your voice. Yeah. But then when that one came, it was like, okay, now he's just shitting on people right now. Because now you went and covered Stevie Wonder and you like did not miss. Then you took it to that next octave when you start hitting all the note changes. I said, go ahead. Because you still do that in your live show. Still like that, just how it's on the but come on, like that had to be one for you to kind of say when you perform that. You guys seen Sammy's show? He hits those notes just like that. Exactly.
Not every time. But I think the first few times I was like, no, it's still that I am terrified of that song. It took me 3 full days of tracking, bro.
Yeah,
because every time I change a key, I had to do all the harmonies again around it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but. I love challenge. I'm still to this day learning and challenging. It's strange how, like a lot of people, like they're getting older, their voice. I just keep. I want to keep pushing.
You keep going. You keep pushing the envelope too.
Pushing the limits of my voice. But working on that song was fun, and then obviously, I was never the tick of Beach.
Yeah,
I remember he. Showing everyone. I'm like, it's not even out. You're not supposed to show stuff.
Oh, you know, Fiji was always going to show people.
And he's like,
out.
Can you send me the acapella? I'm sending him the acapella. And he's like, oh my gosh. Like, he just wanted to understand how I like, and because he understands like the way I do harmonies and it's like very different. Like,
oh, the harmonies are crazy.
The way I do it. And he just wanted to understand every aspect of it. One, so he could do it back to me and be like, did you see what I did?
So you guys keep going back
No, we're definitely like that. And he'll be like, he'll send me a song. And I'm like, I heard what you did.
It was like a friendly competition. Like, let me try to get higher than him.
But you can't do the whistle. I'm like, well, I can, but someone won't let me do it live. He's like, if you do that, I've got nothing.
And Fiji was like that, like, especially with your career, like, moving forward, when we lost Fiji, what was your first instance? Because we knew it was coming, but like when it actually finally happened, what was your take on the whole thing by losing our brother?
I had been talking to him every day and then he didn't respond. That was the day he passed. And I didn't think much of it. And then Saltua texted me. It was very brief, but it was just like, he passed.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I was like, F you, that's not a joke. That's the meanest
that's
thing.
That's a mean joke. Yeah, I said the same thing.
I just was like, and he couldn't even answer the phone because I knew what was. And so I knew it was coming. I already knew, I knew it was coming close to, because I'd last seen him. He was really excited about that. He was
Homecoming.
Yeah. So excited. Like he wanted to be just so he could see his own people, reaction to us. So he had, obviously he didn't think even the first one was going to be like that. He just wanted to go home. But this time he was so giddy. I had never seen him so happy. And so, he passed just before we did it. And I haven't dealt with it properly yet. I don't think I could. I turned the internet off. Couldn't go to the funeral. It's such a huge loss. I think more so for me, and I think I'm still lost because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Vocally in that, he was a huge advocate for me, but he also fought for me in rooms that I wasn't in. And he was the safety that if all else went to shit, I know that he's going to help me sort it out. And so I think in my situation where I've, now moved on from places, label, I was very vulnerable, and I feel very vulnerable now, because I don't have, I was very, 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 very lucky for my situation where I now with Saltua and Steph, but not at the time, not having, I just felt so alone.
Yeah.
I just think I just don't think people realize he was such an amazing artist, but he was so much more than that.
Yeah.
And it was everything he did was because of us and for us. And it wasn't if he never had anything expensive or he would never flex like that. It was all groundwork and it was all just into us. That's the hardest part, is that how do we honor that as artists? We just forget and I have this career because none of us have our careers because of we're good. Yes, we're good, but because someone did so much advocating and so much open. So how do you honor that, and how do you add on to that, or how do you be big? How do you? I don't know. That's the question, the biggest question.
Because him advocating for you and talking about rooms that you were never in, he did that with everybody.
Yeah,
from you to all of us. He was a huge fan of yours. I remember sitting in there and the thing, and he was like, "Ain't nobody messing with Sammy." We would always, we listen to R&B, and I'd be like, "This one," and I said, "Who do you think could do this?" He was like, "Sammy." You know what I mean? So I always knew he was an advocate for you and was a big fan of your voice. And he was always like, "Oh, but he later in his life, he was like, but he can't hit this one." He tried to hit it. I was like, "Oh no, I think he can hit that one." But just having his influence. But fast forward to now, we talk about artists and we talk about mental health and we talk about losing our brother like Feej. I don't think people realize what mental health goes into just being an artist and being the social media world we're living in and everything else that's going on. How do you, as an artist, deal with mental health in this space?
Well, I didn't. That's part of the problem. But I spent so many years advocating for young people with mental health and putting them through programs, being the counselor, and I would catch the signs and I would see it and help. And I missed every single one of my signs, and I didn't even realize that I was going for it until a year in. I think it's a weird thing to talk about because, not in a bad way, but it's because it's a new ground that we're in, with social media and with, I guess, this generation's expectation of what famous is and what is required of someone.
The expectation.
Yeah, the expectation, not only from the fan, but also from labels and and just like what is required I spent, like you heard the whole, it was very quick and a lot of work, and it was so much fun, but it was a lot of work. And so then moving here and not having that same support system, it was hard. But you keep your head down and you work, and a lot of things happen behind the scenes and switching, like just a lot of things that I didn't have control over. I still don't have a lot of control over a lot of things. The only thing, and it's my fault also, because I was always so focused on the creative side.
Yeah.
And that was where my integrity and everything was placed in being good at what I do. But I never really had much to do with the other stuff. And so when I switched like a lot of different things on the back, I found myself in a place where I was very vulnerable, and a lot of things changed, and I didn't know how to deal with it. Like I wasn't equipped to deal with betrayal or with the loss of this or this person doing that, and I didn't know what to do, because my first instinct is like, well, fine.
Yeah, and say that's your first instinct. It's to be defensive about it and react to it right away.
And the funny thing about the music industry is that a lot of people know they're wrong.
Yeah.
But they can hide behind it because it's all about perception, that they can do this thing and then they know how I'm going to react, and then just sit back and let me go.
Yeah. And that's why,
and that's what happens. And a lot of people, sorry.
No, and exactly. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast, because knowing you as your brother, as with Feej, I do think you're misunderstood through social media, because I mean, like I said, a lot of people don't know the ins and outs that me and Feej seen, that me, our private conversations. And I told you specifically, I said, I think we need this podcast to let people hear your story from your mouth instead of making speculation and assumptions of what they think it is.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, let's sit down and tell these people, because I think once they hear from you, not that we want them to feel sorry for whatever it is, but it kind of it's more or less, well, you're not even looking for the sympathy.
No.
You're looking to kind of say, look, it's not easy to be in this position and have the expectation of either a fan or an artist or whatever it is. And that's why I wanted to kind of like sit down with you to kind of see what your take was on this whole thing.
I think, like, obviously, I mean, I am very blessed, and there's a unique position to be in. And it's such a cliche, like, why are you complaining?
Yeah.
And like, I think because I wasn't equipped to deal with a lot of things, and it's not that I should have been, because I was a social, I've worked in this area, but I think with mental health, you just think nothing's going to happen. It never will happen to you like that. And so I don't even know how to explain it without explaining it properly, but how do I do this? Without getting anyone, first of all, like, I don't blame anyone. Like, a lot of people, there's a lot of things that happened, and it was more behind the scenes. And obviously, like, switching labels and switching management, and then money and things going.
And I think that because people don't know what goes into switching of management. People don't know that there's a time period where there is no money being made at the time when you think you should be having money like that time.
And there's people advancing, and then people owing. It's a lot. And ultimately, it's always going to be my fault, because I should have foresaw that, or I should have said this. And I just didn't. I let a lot of people be in charge of everything. All I did was look after the music. Yeah. And a lot of people are doing things, and I just ended up being broke.
Well, there's a lot of moving parts. Like I said, like, where you hear from the beginning of this podcast where you came from, where there wasn't supposed to be the music route that you were in.
Yeah.
And now you're like thrown into the lion's den of a music industry that's cutthroat as it is, where you do have to go where people don't see the behind the scenes, where there's times where us artists or people that are in this industry are broke and are not getting the money that we're getting it, but not now. And we're getting it now, but not then.
Think the thing that was special about me was that I make I made a lot of people money. Like, and
Exactly.
I had never had it. I don't know. So I didn't know any different. Like, I just got $1,000. We're rich. Like, but I did. Projects made a lot of money, and it's not even about the money or about that side of things. It was more. I still do, and I'm learning now, and that's what I guess the future looks like, is learning to control my own business, my own destiny. Like, I am still that Polynesian, or there's still that, like, am I allowed to? Like, I've let a lot of people be in control of certain things, and when you challenge them, like, it's been that way for so long, like, how dare you? It's like, well, I'm like old as hell now. Like, why am I asking like 20? And I think a lot of people, and this is across in anything, I think if you allow something for a long time, when you try and change it, people just don't know how to react to that. And I spent a long time just doing what I was told or making, and it's not to say that I'm not grateful, because I am so grateful for anyone and everything. And I think in now hindsight, I think everything that sort of happened is, I wanted to, but it's very necessary for me to wake up and take more control of my business. And I think without, like, because I'm not trying to, I don't care. I'm not trying to throw anyone under a bus or anything. That's not what, my story is my story. I'm grateful for everyone that's been in it. But I think what I can say is that I just didn't know how to deal with it all. And, you know, you spend a long time winning. Yeah. And I was winning. Like, I was like very successful. And it was very naive of me to think that I would get the fall that comes with that. The crash. And, you know, when there's so much money is being made and everyone's happy until someone says, well, no, actually I don't want to, like, I'm going to move on to this. And basically I found like everyone just, and I was alone, like, and I had nothing to my name, and and then I tried to do the poly way, and maybe if I gambled this, lost more, like, you know, like, I don't, like, I'm trying to do quick fixes and just trying to do stuff.
But do you find yourself dealing with that? Like, say we have like social media as an outlet. Do you catch yourself going to social media and having that as an outlet and be like, oh shit, I forgot who I was?
No, and I did all that, like, but that was the real, like, I think, like, one thing I will always just tell the truth, even if it's ugly. Like, and I think, and I tell too much.
No, and I think that's why I want to, because no one else was going to bring it up. But like,
I had no, like, literally, like, I just didn't have any money, and I just couldn't get it because this person has it, or this person, and then,
or it's in limbo, or
and then if you get given an advance, no one tells you that you have to pay 200 times back, and so now I'm like, okay, I'm like in a better, but no, you owe it. And so, like, but I should never have been in those places. And
absolutely.
So all I can say without is that, I and then it took me to a place where I became suicidal. And
in saying that, now where you're at in your thing,
you
like,
drink. Nah.
Shout out Coco Love.
Sorry.
But now that we have, like, so we're talking about, like, you know, with the social media and stuff like that too, like that being your outlet, and you saying, you know, there was a time where you were suicidal. Like being 100%. Suicidal, like, that's why I wanted to have this.
It's weird. Like, and I still deal with depression and things like that. Obviously, I was very, very lucky that I went to a psychologist and I went to professionals. But I think, you know, I was everything happened so fast, and then I'm moving country, and so I've sacrificed a lot of relationships. And people have, like, I just don't have any of that. I moved here and I just went to work, and I think, like, you put a lot of trust in people, and I should have really took the time to work on myself and understanding things. And to a point where I just didn't know what to do. And so, you know, you turn to substance abuse. I've done it all. like, you know, like, it wasn't, Yeah, there was a selfish in a way, in some ways, thinking of myself and woe is me. And I did a lot of bad things, not bad, like legal, but I just, well, it was bad, but but more like I spent so long like it's your fault, it's their fault, it's this, but it's my fault because I let it happen. And I think now, like in hindsight, you know, people like they're going through far more work. Like, what a great problem to have. Like,
but still, it's a problem.
It is a problem, and that's not negating like what I went through. But I think going and getting help for the mental health stuff. The biggest, I think, what we're trying to get at here is that it can happen to anyone at any time, and if you're not prepared, it can get. And I wasn't prepared for it, and I think now, I just think if you are dealing with something, you should definitely see someone. As weird as it feels, because I remember when I went and I was like a psychologist, but.
Well, especially in this demographic, because in the Polynesian demographic, like that is like what a black eye to your name or whatever it is, because we're not used to like going to psychologists and stuff like that too. But you being in that field before, you know, when you're doing with your mission and stuff like that too, that kind of tends to take it back to you.
Used to refer people to counselors for depression and mental health. It's nothing. It was probably the quick. Like it was quick. It was not quick, but the work was. Like if I'd have done it earlier, maybe I wouldn't have gotten that far. And I think it was it's bad example, like to go on social media to do that. It was not a good idea. I just think at the time, like I obviously can like try and rationalize, like, well, I was going through this, but at the end of the day, like, I think there are avenues and places for us to sort our problems going through. And I think social media has become the place where we're going to, like, we're looking for the answers. I'm like, just because someone posted something, hashtag this, that's not, because like, there are professionals. There are professionals in their field.
Social media is not the place for
you know, and
because people, misery loves company, and they want to see people fail.
And honestly, and so, but I think, after the fact, and honestly, like I'm like, because I don't like thinking about, like, maybe for some people it's still very like, oh yeah, well you were mental last week. Like, no, I wasn't. I've been good for a while. Like, but going back there is, it's like, it's not fun for me. But it's been like almost 2-3 years since I was in the thick of it. After the fact, when I'm trying to think of like what's the feeling like after it. It's basically that you need to have good people around you. You need to, one, ask every question. Like for an artist, I don't know if it's the same for everyone or whatever they do, but if you are someone like me or like that is a product, you're a product. I make people money. I hate to even think about that, and that's what I didn't. I'm a singer. Like, I'm all about the music and the craft and all of that.
The artistry.
But in the world, like I do make people money, and like you make people money as well, and you're a product, and so you need to understand that, and you need to, and I needed to trust the people that I'm around. And what's funny is that I just. Like I listened to the wrong people. I trusted not everyone I should have trusted all that much with this thing. And it's funny because I remember people saying, "Oh, these people, they just want to do this." And and it's funny because when when shit hit the fan, all these people that were supposed to care, give a shit about me, they weren't there. They blocked my number, or they just disappeared, and I didn't have anyone to, I will never do that to you. Like, and so I'm trusted.
Trust issues.
They're pissed off. They're all gone. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Some people, but if you really care about someone, like, you're gonna be there through the bad and the good. And if Because I guess that's the type of friend that I am. Like, I got you. Like, if I love you, I love you. If I hate you, then.
And that's a fact.
But if you're my friend, I unblocked you. No, I'm joking. But you know, like, and the problem is that we as people, we expect the same. Like not everyone's gonna love you the way you love everyone, and that was, I guess, a hard truth for me too, a hard pill to swallow, so to speak. And so I literally found myself, I'm like, I got nothing. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, and it's funny because I went through. So I was with Noah Cronin, then I left Noah to go to Dawn Raid, from Dawn Raid to Island Empire. And stuff.
Yeah.
And then from them, I moved to Ivory.
Yeah.
More like same label, but I moved
to a different division of it.
To on blank.
Yeah. But no, exactly.
And then, you know, and these are not all decisions that, like, ultimately, like I had to agree with it. But I went back to what did I do? I'm trying to think. Sorry, I'm trying to think. What's a good way to go? I don't want to say all the different people.
Yeah, you just said going from back and forth for management and handlers. Cool. Yeah, we'll cut that. Yeah, we'll cut that. Austin got that.
Yeah, okay. So going back and forth from different labels and management. I was very lucky. Like, I went back and with my tail between my legs. Sometimes you just gotta humble yourself.
Yeah.
No. And I'm very lucky that, you know, I reached out to Stefan. Actually, they reached out to me. Are you okay? What's going on?
Yeah.
And you know, like I was too. I didn't even like. I was embarrassed to even because I left. You know, like they had every right to be like, we only work with you.
Yeah.
Like shows, but when you know, I left, like, and ultimately that was my fault. But I was very, very lucky that they reached out, and it's the very people that people used to warn me, and I'm just to be 100%. But people used to, they ain't got you like that, and they used to warn me about that, and I think that was probably part of the reason why I was always like not sure. But shout out to Stefan Tour and Island Empire and everything that they're the only ones. Like,
shout out Stefan Tour.
You know, like that were like, all right. And they didn't even, like, they just came in and just sorted everything. And I think working with those guys it's a great blessing. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Because we're all very similar in age, and we've been working so long and so hard, and we're very talented in our own aspects. But I think there have been, you know, I want someone who's going to be around me who cares.
Yeah.
and I think words are words. At the end of the day, actions. Like, and I'm sure people have always got, like, he's only with, no. Like, I already left it. Like, you know, like, I'm at a stage, I think, in my life where I don't even, like, there was a time, and sometimes I still think about it, like, music is optional now. Like, do I even want to? Like, is it worth it? And I think that's, it's something that, it's sad that it would get to that. But then you have Fuchsia's passing, and it comes back home. But I have a good team around me now, and they work hard. Like, I'm like, I'm not that hard. But you know,
I think you showed the vulnerability in the industry that we are in now, where you're going to deal with trials and tribulations. But I think that's exactly what I wanted to kind of tell your side of the story, and so people don't have the assumptions of it, where
without getting anyone in trouble and myself.
And that's not what the basis of it is, to try to get anybody. It's to deal with what the struggles that you have to go through with this.
It's a lot. And it's very, like, it's black and white, but it's very complex. It's like, but the crux of it is that, you know, I trusted the wrong people, and that's not to negate, like, I think I did some amazing things with amazing people, but I think I stayed at certain parties too long.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best way of putting it.
And where I knew that maybe that had seen it time.
Yeah.
And maybe, we all have those friends or those really like that it's maybe time to part, but it's just fun.
What's the comfort zone that you have?
Yeah, and I stay too long, the sun come up and a hot mess. And then,
but knowing that now, going forward with your career, we're still going to deal with certain aspects of what we just talked about always.
Yeah.
But now that you can kind of rein it in and bring it in a little bit, what's the future looking like for Sammy J's career as far as what you're controlling, what you want it to be going forward?
I think that it's okay not to know what the future holds, and I think that your feelings are valid, but I don't think you should probably share them on social media. But and that's still a process, for me, like learning how to deal with my emotions. It's like a weird thing to talk about, and the outlets that go with those emotions. But I think if you are struggling, depending on where you're struggling, if you're an artist, you're struggling. Take a look at yourself. A good look at yourself, because there was a lot of things for me that I didn't want to see. Like that, yes, I was the problem in areas, and then work on and then look at your team and the people that represent you and
who's around you, where your surroundings
and be
are.
honest. Like it's about being honest, and it's like it's a scary truth. Like when you look in the mirror, and you're like, oh shit, and it's not even like, it's not a huge, like, how do I explain it? Like, yes, it's not a huge problem that I may have, but it still affects me. And so that's it. Like,
but I think not so much where it's not a huge problem. I still think it's a problem that, and going through this whole process and listen to our conversation, it's like what you do go through is something that you want to focus on, because, putting it off by saying it's not that big of a deal. I do think it's big of a deal, because I think you're the talent. You can have control of your life, and when there's times that you don't have that control, you do kind of find yourself lost. And I think that's why this was something for me to kind of be big, to kind of say, let me sit down with Sammy and talk about this, because this also, not in a way that we would say, is also, like a therapy session to kind of like get all this out. You know what I mean? So the vulnerability that you show, I appreciate that, because not a lot of artists, Feej was one that showed his vulnerability by talking about how his dad wasn't there, and, him getting real emotional about that. And this is a place where it's like, you're not just doing it with somebody that just don't know you. We've known each other for a long time, and I've seen your whole process. And I do thank you for that, because I do think your story in this footprint is huge. And I think that people that watch this podcast are going to be like, damn, I kind of gave him the short end of the stick, not knowing his story. And that was kind of the whole premise that I want to have Sammy J on here. Not just say, oh, okay, we got a big name on it. Nah, it was actually say, let me get my brother on here to kind of show the public your struggles. Because if they don't know your struggles, they're automatically going to go to social media and be like, oh, he did this, he did that. But they knowing your story now they have a different whole vision of what you have when they deal with you now. And that's what I wanted to do with that.
I appreciate it. And I think the funny thing about, like, just going off what you're saying, is that the one thing about me, and I think it's always been funny, is that I'll snitch on myself before you do. Like, and so you can say whatever you like, but I'll always tell the truth. And so, I did this. I don't have a problem with being wrong. I don't have a problem apologizing. And I think that's why, like, a lot of people in my position, we've seen them. Have crashed and never came back. And I worked through, people don't know about because the only way they know is because I was posting. But if I hadn't posted, you wouldn't. No.
And that's your testimony.
The grass is green, the flowers are growing. Absolutely. And that's the way,
That's your testimony for sure, because I think when people don't see it, their assumptions start. When people don't see how you're dealing with your problems, then they're kind of like, oh, he's probably doing this. You know what I mean?
100%.
But you're so transparent about
you can
your
ask
life.
Me. I probably did that.
He'll tell you.
I definitely did that and that. No. But it didn't work. but it's not even about, like, those are things, like, I think people get so caught up on, like, well, he said this and he did that. But if you get down to the core of it, it's not about that. It doesn't negate from, I did say this and I did. It's more like how, like, it's a time for us to really, where you need to look within, like,
absolutely.
Do we actually care about this person and what they're going through?
Or we're just waiting for them.
Or are we just looking for, and I think that's the problem where you're posting stuff is clickbait. And then, like, just because someone is famous, like, and I get it because I've done this, like, oh, whatever. Like, you know, it like people's feelings, they matter, you know, and I think it's a weird place with R&B reggae and the genre. It's very young, so we're all having these experiences together. We've just lost our first legendary and we've had some crash outs somewhere.
Yeah, and now we're learning how to deal with that.
You know,
in real time.
Yeah, and it's like these are new things for us, and it's not their responsibility, but it's like it's interesting to watch it because we don't think that it's going to happen. Like, you know, like groups break up. Or this person's, you know, like we're all just sort of these things are happening like right now, and it's buzzy because even like, you know, I just didn't think. You don't think anything like that is going to happen in our world. It does. Yeah.
Especially in the social media world we're living in. Everything's so instant. Everything's so like displayed for everybody to see, whether it's wins or it's losses. Everyone's there on there. And then they have, and what everybody has, an opinion on it. Yeah. Whether they can make a fake page and talk their shit with how they want to talk it. Like, that's just what's wrong that I think in this society now that we're living in, where you can go behind a fake page and talk your shit and not be accountable for it.
I want my name to be. Yeah. Well, I talk shit. Like, and like, it is crazy, but it's also like, it's not that deep, all of it. Like, that's the thing, like, about it. And I just think, like, it's just not that deep. Like, everyone, like, everyone's got lives and they're all dealing with their own shit. And I think, your shit's just as important as my shit. Like
see, that's what I wanted to say.
Like,
your shit is just one of your shit because I think everything that happens to you is important. And I think everything that you guys go through with life, when life is lifing, is important. And it does have to be addressed.
For everyone. You know?
For everybody. Not just if you're an artist, not just, if it's anybody just watching this podcast. And I just want to thank Sammy for being vulnerable and coming on here because this, like I said before, this has to be told because you guys don't see this side of it. And I think once you guys see this side of it, you guys can kind of sit there. Not saying we're here to have you feel sorry for me or sorry for saying you don't
sympathy.
Give a shit.
I don't give a shit. I really don't. Like,
you're
about
able
a lot
to
of
understand the story and understand the trial and the journey that you're going through now. And I think you're still one of the dopest artists and still to this day one of the best voices in our demographic. Yeah. So I think your future is bright only because things like this. I say that to say this, they only happen like this to excel to what you're doing.
Yeah, and it's weird, and it's like, and don't take it the wrong, like I might look like he looks like, it's very hard to, because I'm obviously not depressed and I'm not.
But you still go through the same things. But you're
still like, the human in me will always, is like, I'm still feeling like not sure, like, And I think that's okay. Yeah. Like, but I'm being honest in a sense where, you know, like I didn't know how to deal with a lot of this. And so I'm very lucky that however I dealt with it wasn't bad. Like it was, you know, but I think the message we can all take from this is that we just to be a bit kinder to ourselves and to other people.
Absolutely.
And I think, you know, like in my experience, the old me would come for vengeance, like petty Betty, like all of it, like. But I just don't feel like that way because a lot of people are like, why don't you like name it? It's like it's no one's fault. It is in certain, but I don't care about that, and I'm not interested in getting like. I think now that I'm older, I just want to be happy and to do whatever I need to do to make my music, and that's it. Like, I'm not trying to be in the mix or trying to be like a mogul or like, I don't care about, like, I really don't. And a lot of people find it hard to believe, but I live a very simple life. I don't own expensive. Yeah. These are all from I don't want any of those things. My dream in life is to be able to sing my songs, to travel and just pay my rent. Yeah. Like, that's what all it's ever been. And I think for me personally, like, my dream was smaller than what transpired. My business was like creating. Yeah. And I wasn't prepared for that. So that's what happened, basically.
Uncertainty is always a dark place. And I think
forever.
with Sammy's story here and what we kind of went over in this podcast is where something like this, like I said before, is stuff that people are struggling with every day, whether you're an artist and whether you're somebody just dealing with everyday life. But I think something you guys can get out of this is where you said, it's like uncertainty is a scary place. But if you guys go and seek the help and maturity, and I think, coming from where you came from and to see the mature level where you're at now, no one's going to be perfect. Everyone's going to be in the middle of their journey where they're going forward.
Yeah.
And I think with Sammy, like I said, with his catalog and with his performance thing, what he's doing now, I can't wait to see what the next chapter is for Sammy Johnson, because I think there's an end of the story where it's a success story because I know your work ethic and I know what Fiji's told me about dealing with the fame. There's a lot on your plate that people don't know, that people can't handle sometimes. Yeah. So with that said, I want to thank you for coming on the Western Conference podcast, because it's been a long time coming, but I think a lot of people can learn from this, where if you guys do see similarities in Sammy's story, do something about it. Talk to somebody about it, because I'm telling you, it's a dark place on social media if you use it for the wrong things. And in this music industry especially, I'm telling you, it's a whirlwind of emotions and a whirlwind of a lot of different aspects that you guys don't see behind the scenes. So for my brother Sammy J, your boy Big Body Cisco, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.